Just a quick question. Where is your personality at? Congrats, you don't have one. Hi, I'm Grace. Welcome back to Bitching in Bed, the podcast where I talk about things that make you uncomfortable from the place where I'm most comfortable. It's been a long old time, but I'm back. I've wanted to bring this content to YouTube for such a long time, but I've been scared about the world and how I'm going to be perceived and all that rubbish bullshit. So I finally decided to take the plunge. So I'm here. I am still going to be posting Bitching in Bed episodes on TikTok, but they're going to be the same episodes but shortened down. And then if people want to hear me yap for longer, they can head over here and listen to the full episode. Camera quality has improved, mic quality has improved, I have improved. Let's fucking get into it. Today, I want to talk about cringe culture and this culture of embarrassment that social media fosters. I feel like it's impossible to exist, not even just online, but in real life at this current point in time without being perceived as cringe in some way or another for one thing or another. Let's look at the history of the word. The word cringe comes from the Old English cringen, which originally meant to fall or to yield in battle. Around the 16th century, cringen turned to what we know as cringe. However, at this point, the definition started to introduce ideas around embarrassment and fear, the word meaning crouching, bending to be below in fear. And then finally, by the 19th century, cringe is what we know it to be now, something that is embarrassing, something that we should fear, something that we should be shameful about. So if we're going back and looking at the original origins of the word, it means to submit, to be below, to lessen yourself, to please those above. Fuck that. I fear that cringe culture is ruining individuality. You can't exist as an individual anymore without being deemed as cringe. If you go against the grain, you're cringe. If you behave in a certain way, you're cringe. What does that even mean? There's an environment on social media now where you can't outwardly listen to certain music. Look at the way that the world is dragging Benson Boone. If you want to listen to Moonbeam Ice Cream, then why can't you? Why should you not be able to consume that media without being labeled as cringe? Just because it's not something you enjoy. There is a clear difference between being a hater and something just not being to your liking and you not enjoying something. And if you are someone that doesn't enjoy something and because you don't enjoy it, you actively hate on others for enjoying it, you suck. You suck. So hard. So hard. Cringe culture is robbing people of hobbies. Grown adults that like My Little Pony and people that like to dress up as video game characters at Comic Con, even furries. And I have a lot to say on furry culture, but even furries, they aren't doing anything to harm you. It's their culture, it's their existence, it's their life. And your inward fear of not feeling as though you are in a position to express yourself freely is limiting other people. When someone says, "Ooh, that's cringe," do you know what I hear? I'm jealous that I'm not that confident. I'm jealous that I can't express myself that way. You aren't telling me anything other than the fact that you are deeply insecure. When someone says you're being cringy, what they mean is, I'm too embarrassed to associate with this because I'm fearful of what the world will think. Loser! You're a loser! Where has your personality gone, ho? Where's it gone? It is a reflection of themselves, not of the person doing the thing that's inherently cringy. In an old episode of Dear Hank and John, the podcast hosted by Hank Green and John Green, someone wrote in to ask how they can stop being considered a tryhard at school. And this was Hank's reply. I think that try hard means I would be embarrassed to try that hard. It is cringy to care that much. That is about them, not you. Don't kill the part of you that is cringy, kill the part of you that cringes. I feel like that captures the notion of combating cringe culture so well. The part that needs to change is not the action inherently itself, it's your response to it. There are so many people out there that would consider this, me sitting in front of a camera talking to 30 subscribers, cringe. I would much rather be in a position with myself and my self esteem where I feel confident to do the things that I love, express myself freely, than be so insecure that every single time I see an action that doesn't align with the way I'd behave, call it out as cringe. Being able to be earnest about our feelings and being able to communicate with one another earnestly and honestly and openly and passionately, it's made it impossible to speak poetically and impossible to speak dramatically. There's like that thing on TikTok of like that friend that says last night was a movie. Like, Maybe last night was a movie, and maybe that's how I felt, and maybe I should be allowed to express that feeling without being labeled as cringe. The human language and our ability to communicate is such a gift. I was not put on this earth to be fearful of who I am and the things that I love, and nor were you. You were not put on this earth to fear the things that you care about and to fear how much you care. There's this common understanding that nonchalance is the way forward. Nonchalance is not cool. Be chalant. Show the world the things you care about. Who fucking cares what's cringe and what's not cringe? No one is going to stand at your funeral and dictate on a scale from 1 to 10 how cringy you were, and therefore that's how well they're going to remember you. No. Cringe culture is destroying individuality. It is destroying us as human beings. I partake in a lot of shit that the world and social media would deem as cringy. I'm a theatre kid. I'm a Marauders stan. I dress like a freak. I sit here and make YouTube videos and post on TikTok. I do a lot of stuff that the world would consider cringe. And yet never once have I felt limited by any of those things. Never have any of those things limited me as a person. They've only ever brought me joy and happiness. They've only ever excelled me as a person. They've only ever given me confidence. So why would I allow social media and the world to rob that from me? I'm not gonna. I used to be so quiet and so nonchalant about the things that I loved because it wasn't cool to love. It wasn't cool to care. It wasn't chic to feel so deeply. Fuck that. Chic and demure and trendy and nonchalant are boring. It's boring. I'm sorry. Caring is the most human thing you can do. Being careful, being honest, being open is the most human thing you can do. It is the most intrinsic human behavior to care and to feel. And cringe culture tells us not to, or at least to not talk about it. No. Do I particularly like certain music styles? No. I don't really listen to Benson Boone, but I don't care what music you listen to. And if you care that deeply about what someone else is doing and that person isn't harming anybody, you need to get a life. You have too much time on your hands. If you have enough time to type out hate comments about Benson Boone's Moonbeam ice cream, you have too much time. Go and get a hobby, maybe a cringe one. Go find a really cringe hobby. I promise you'll feel more fulfilled. I also feel like there's this culture, specifically online, where something cringy is reclaimed by someone conventionally attractive or someone popular, and then all of a sudden it's not cringe anymore. Or the same act done by someone conventionally attractive versus someone that society doesn't deem conventionally attractive are viewed in two very different ways. Which leads me to question whether you really think it's cringe or whether certain people feel that they can dictate who is worthy and who isn't worthy of self expression. And you're only worthy of that self expression if it's pretty to look at from a conventional standpoint. Do you remember that viral video of that girl receiving pancakes at an IHOP, I think it was? And the internet slated her for doing her little happy dance. If you can see someone else's joy and someone else's happiness and it internally cringes you out, what are you doing? What has humanity come to that we can see someone else experiencing a pure form of joy, someone who is uniquely, wholeheartedly themselves? And you can hate on that and drag on that and judge people for that. It makes no sense to me. Like, it used to be cringy to wear skinny jeans. It was millennial to wear skinny jeans, but now all the cute chic girlies are wearing capri pants, and it's okay, even though they're essentially the same thing. Because it's not cringe when the cool girls do it. I think fundamentally this all circles back to one key point, and it is something I want to make a whole separate video about. But I think this cringe culture is being fed by the rise in conservatism in Gen Z. There has been an extreme shift towards conservatism, towards the far right, and back towards conservative values and Christian family values. Obviously, there are other factors that play into it, but I do think this increase in conservatism has played a huge role in this surplus of cringe culture. This, it's uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable for you to be that much. And I don't doubt for 1 minute that when someone behaves in a certain way and someone else calls it out as cringe, that I don't doubt that they feel cringed out. I don't doubt that their body has an internal reaction that makes them uncomfortable. But that uncomfortability is not a reflection of the act they're viewing. That uncomfortability is the reflection of themselves as a person feeling uncomfortable that they can't be that open and free. There is a key difference between not liking something and being an active hater on it. You're allowed to not like things. But who gave you the right to tell other people what they can and can't like and make them feel shame for those things? So what if it's cringe and if it's poetic and if last night was a movie and if this video is a movie and if you guys are a fucking movie, who cares? Who cares? Not me. Go and film TikToks in the aisles of Tesco and out on the street and with your friends and wear what you want and listen to basic white girl music and join societies at your uni and join clubs at your school and join theatre groups age 45 because who the fuck cares? Tell your friends you love them with the most chalance in the world. Be annoying and funny, even if other people don't think you're funny, and talk about things that matter to you. Some of the best creators, some of your favorite content creators started out sitting here like me talking to a camera with 30 subscribers. And I want to be someone that people can turn to. I want to be someone that people can look to and find comfort in. I want to be someone that talks about things that people aren't talking about. And I'm not going to get there if I allow cringe culture to limit me. Go and pay for overpriced photo booths and look horrific in the pictures and post them on your Instagram story anyway. Read whatever you want to read, listen to whatever music you want to do, cosplay and dress up and allow life to be what you want it to be. As long as you are not hurting anyone, fuck cringe culture and fuck anyone that is uncomfortable by you experiencing joy because that is so dumb and you suck. You have no personality. Get a life, get a hobby. Start crocheting or something, please. You need to be doing something with those thumbs apart from tapping away. I'm really sorry, user 67394829697, that you find me cringy. If you're going to sit behind a blank profile and tell people on the internet that you're cringy, that is cringe. That's cringe. That is cringe. Imagine hating on people for the things that they love. That is cringe. And for people that genuinely find people experiencing joy cringy, I'm so sorry that something or someone has made you feel like you can't love in that way, but you can. And life will be so much more fulfilling because of it. Life's too freaking short. Anyway, thanks for listening to me yap. I am having so much fun with this, maybe a bit more fun than I should be. Obviously, like I said, there will be short form content on TikTok and then the long form video on YouTube. Please make sure you are following and subscribed to both. I'm also Grace Summer 18 over on Instagram if you want to check out the shit that I get up to at uni. Bitching in Bed is back and revamped for season 2, and new episodes will be up every week. So stay tuned and comment down below things that you want me to yap about. Yeah. I love you all so much.